All right. Hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. Me and Reed gonna try a little something. So we've got the Miracle-Gro potting mix that we did in the last couple of trays. And I did this before I started the camera. I've already filled 6 of these little seed cups. So we're going to, oh, I dropped a bunch of those pads. I brought more than I needed. All right. We got 4 different kinds of tomatoes here, or yeah, tomatoes. Get that, please. Put it up there. All right, I don't know if the microphone's working or not. You can see I'm wearing it. Last time I used them when they were working, it picked up really, really well, and my voice was too strong on the videos. But so what we're going to do today is we're going to plant 12 seed cups. I really thought about doing 15, but we're going to do 12 seed cups with 6 with the Miracle-Gro potting mix. Give me that bag. And 6 with the Coast of Maine organic and natural potting soil mix. So, I should have just asked you for your knife, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Oops, don't let it fall. You don't let Papa mess up. Hold it. There we go.
Don't aim the blade towards you.
Alright, so this soil actually looks a whole lot better. This is dark, dark soil. So let me fill the cups. Filling them in the bag so I don't waste a lot of it. But look at the difference in those 2 soils right there, guys. If y'all can tell on camera, I don't know. But man, one's, you know, brown and one's almost black. Looks different, don't it, Reed?
Yeah, way different.
Which one do you think is going to grow best?
This one.
The organic?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm packing them in there pretty decent. So I don't want them to, when I water them, I don't want it to settle down to be a 1/4 of a cup or a 1/2 a cup. So, all right. There's 4. Five. And 6. All right, so gonna roll this up. I got plenty of clothespins, so we're gonna close it up. I'm gonna close this Miracle-Gro back up. All right, so now we need to plant our seeds in there. So what Reed and I decided on, since we're not having any luck with tomatoes this year, so I've still got some Mortgage Lifter seeds that Jennifer from Jennifer Ocean Homestead sent me last year, so, or maybe the year before. But I'm gonna plant 1 of each with Mortgage Lifter tomatoes. I've got some non-GMO beefsteak tomato seeds, some Marzano tomatoes, and I've got the Katana hybrid tomato, and we've got some Japanese pepper. So I want to do the tomatoes first, and you barely bury tomatoes, okay? They go about a 1/4 of an inch into the soil, not very much. I just make an itty bitty indentation in the center. Man, I like that dark Maine soil. That organic soil looks really good. All right. A little bitty indentation. Excuse me. Sweat running. Oh, there went the microphone. See? Y'all, somebody's got to come out with a clip or something that holds these microphones anywhere you want to put them and not fall, because these things are the most aggravating. That's why I don't normally wear one. I think Satan invented them is what I think. Anywho. Alright, let's start off with the Katana Hybrid, right? You ready?
Yep.
You ready? Y'all, Reed's not feeling well today. He woke up feeling pretty poorly this morning. So, he won't take a pill like his mama, so I had to crush one up and put it in some orange juice for him. Alright, right?
I just can't swallow it.
I know.
I don't know why.
Right. There's 2 little seeds in there. Now I'm just going to barely cover it up. Alright, now we're going to do 2 seeds in this one. There's 2 little baby seeds in there. Alright. Now.
Just fold that back up and put it back in.
So we got 2 Katana tomatoes. Find me a Katana tomato marker there. Alright, there's one. Give me another one. We're going to mark them. Alright. Man, I didn't bring any paper towel. Which one is that?
Pepper.
Well, let's save it to last. I may not have enough room for it.
Yeah.
Alright. So, the mortgage lifters last year directly planted into my beds did really, really well. So that's what I want to do next. We had a pretty good storm here last night. Power went out for several hours, but I need a finer tip marker. All right, what's today's date? I think it's the 25th, but I could be off by a day or two. No big deal. All right, so we're going to do mortgage lifter here. You can't hardly read it because this Sharpie is not very sharp. And we'll do a mortgage lifter there. All right, Reed, you get the seats while I start writing the next one. Mortgage lifter, these. I want 2 in each hole, okay? You can't pick them up. They're too tiny. Take the cup. You should have watched me a minute ago. Take the cup and just tap it until they come down to the end. There's one. And there's another one. Now you just cover them up. Do that over here on this hole. Bless you. See, now there's 2 right there. I just want to barely cover them up. Tap it down gently so they don't move. And then put the seeds back in there. So, alright, so that one's done. And the katana's done. Something just buzzed around me.
Oh, wasp. Wasp.
Where?
It flew away.
As long as it's gone. We're going to cut it open. Give me your knife. Sorry we're moving slow, guys. Make me want to cut the whole top of the package off. They seal them up like they don't want anybody to ever get into them. Let's work on opening that other one too. Now this is the Marzano tomato. I gotta write that out. Be careful. tomato. Let me get one more made. Holy smokes, the humidity is.
Crazy.
Yep. I need to plug that fan up is what I need to do, but then it'd kill the audio. Boy, my handwriting's terrible. All right. All right, look. This is Marzano. Put 2 seeds in each hole. Come around to the other side of me. Barely a hole there. I want 2 seeds in this hole and this hole, okay? This is beefsteak. You're better off to use the package. It's too tiny to hold.
Yep. I just dump them out on my hand and then I put them in there. Oh, that's almost done.
Alright, well that leaves us
With beefsteak.
we're going to do the beefsteak in the 2 middle ones here.
And we have just enough room for the peppers.
Put them in the little indentions I made. Just 2. And then we got 4 pots left that we can do for peppers because I don't have very many peppers planted. I think I only did a couple, and I don't know that they've even come up. So, all I know is it says pepper Japanese, so I couldn't say their official name if my life depended on it. Hey, come plant them.
These seeds are pretty big.
Yep.
Two in each thing?
Yes, please. Well, we're doing 4 cups this time, though. Means I gotta write more. Oh. Alright, you got those in there?
Yeah.
Alright. Put it down just a little bit.
That one I got 4.
That's fine.
Yeah, I know.
Plant them too deep, they can't get no sunlight and all of that.
There we go.
Oh, you already done them, huh? Alright, Japanese pepper. Japanese pepper. We did 2 Japanese peppers in the organic soil. So,
And 2 in the other soil. 2 in Miracle Grow and 2 in...
yep. And honestly, the Miracle Grow is just fluffy, like almost ground up wood chips or whatever. I don't know.
It feels like how you'd imagine a cloud would feel like. Okay.
Not very good though, is it? Has no weight to it at all. All right, so now I got to try to water these without destroying them. And then I'll probably put the lid on them, which I've got up under the container right there.
Yeah.
So I've got to get these watered. All right, let me bring the other one back. I'll leave it there. It's not ready to transplant yet.
I was going to show you what you have.
He wants to show y'all, so I'm going to bring it over here and show y'all. Now, I know the video's running long, but that's what we got. So we got a soybean that's growing in 2 basil. But as you've seen in the video before this, we've already transplanted the pole beans and the cucumbers. So. All right, grab this lid for me. Let me put this down here. Yep. Just gently lay it on there. All right, we're gonna have to get something to water. Water hose is way too strong for these things. So, all right, the next thing we're gonna do is go out to the garden and use this soil meter. So, put it around. Reed, you tote the camera.
Okay.
All right, and you keep me in it, and let's go see what the thing says about our soil. All right, just for good measure. Let's see what it says about the tomato soil. Okay guys, so I tried to let Reed hold the camera and do the filming. And unfortunately, while we were checking the beds and all, he got way more footage of the weed mat and my feet than he did anything else. So he would stare off into the woods while he was holding the camera, you know, over here. Holding the camera over here, but he's staring off into the woods out there that way because a bird chirped or squirrel ran or something, you know. It's rough. Day number 4 without his meds, so that was a little bit rough for him, and I'd take a bullet for that boy in a heartbeat. I'd rather give some, but anyway, that boy is awesome, and I love every minute I can get with him. But unfortunately, I couldn't use the video to end this thing. So I'm not going to redo everything. We'll do it in another video. But what we did was, after we finished with the seed trays over there, we came over with the soil meter and checked the pH in most of these beds. And most of them are between a 6 and a 7.5. Most of them are in the upper 6s. So I think we're okay on that for right now. Of course, they're wet. I mean, we've had 4 1/4 inches of rain in the last 3 days. So, and it's not done for today, although I'm hoping it's done for a while. But anyway, so we've got quite a bit of rain here lately. So I'm gonna turn this thing around and show y'all some of what Reed and I did, and see if we can't wrap this up. All right, so we cut the tops off the potato plants. So dehoming to try to get the skins to toughen up so they store longer. And I think we showed this in another video, I'm not sure. I split the squash that 2 popped up and the zucchini where 2 popped up, and added, when we pulled those potatoes in the corner, they were nice, by the way. I spread the soil across there and just made 7 plants instead of 4. So hopefully they're going to do really well. The rain should definitely help with that some. We did pick the garden and all that, but we haven't picked it today. This is Monday evening, Memorial Day. I hope y'all took the time to remember those that have fallen to protect this country, and for other reasons. But either way, we did dehome these potatoes, and we had picked squash and all. Looks like I need to pick a few squash today. I don't think there's any zucchini ready. I see a squash right down there. Y'all can barely see. That's rotting on the end of it, and that happens on some of them every now and then. I've had a few do that, but for the most part, they've done really well. So I took the seed trays, those compostable cups, and just dumped them in this bed, because we're going to refill this bed with more soil anyway, and that'll just mix back in. But let me see if I can show y'all. There's a squash right there that needs picking. So I know there's a few that need picking, not very many. These plants are, you know, at least the last probably quarter of their life cycle. So we did prune some limbs off, some leaves and all that were, you know, had holes in them or damage or whatever, and tried to lighten the load on the plant a little bit, but for the zucchini and the squash. But you see it's still huge. So, and these are the 2 Japanese cucumbers and pole beans that we planted here by the trellis. And I told y'all I moved the trellis in so that I could harvest from the outside. It's kind of hard to get into the middle of them. So you can do it. You can reach from this side and you can reach from the other side. There's about a foot gap between them, so it's workable. And we did pick a few early peas that needed picking. Most of them aren't quite fat enough. We might have missed a couple like here. Some of them were so fat we actually had 1 or 2 that busted open on themselves, split open because they were so fat. But I've still got quite a few blooms happening. So we are going to have more squash and more zucchini for another week or 2. But these plants, like I said, they've produced extremely well. So it'll do. We came over and I tested the soil in the onion bed where I raised the onions. And as we walked over here and as I was talking to y'all and showing you the meter, Reed had the camera down like this, pointed at the weed mat the entire time. So you didn't get to see anything that I was trying to show y'all. So I just deleted that footage and we're going to end it now. So all the soil we've dug out of the carrot bed there and half of that middle bed where the zucchini and squash is just now coming up have went into these new grow bags. We've got 8 new bags. Nothing's planted in those bags yet, but if those seed trays work, we're going to have plenty to go into those bags. So the tomatoes are actually doing pretty well. This was the smallest one a month and a half ago, and it's doing pretty good. It's a little bit of a shock when we moved them because the soil moved and all that, but this one slowed down after I added soil. But the rest of them seem to be doing much, much better, and I am hitting them with that tomato booster. So I've got, let me back up. So I've got this one that nothing has ever come up in, and I've got this one that a little tiny plant, it's not really coming up like it should. And then I've got this one that's got a little stub that's poked up for a month and hadn't done anything. So those 3 will be replanted with whatever I get to grow in those seed trays. And then the other 8, of course. So that makes 11 grow bags. That makes 11 grow bags that we're going to transplant from the seed trays into these bags and try to at least have some kind of harvest out of them this year. So I'm going to leave the potatoes alone for a few days and let those skins thicken up and make them last longer for storage. I'm going to, you know, I ain't got to water for at least 2 days with all the rain we've been getting. So everything else is looking fantastic. I am well pleased with the garden this year. We have made some improvements. There's a lot that we can do that we're going to be better at. That soil meter is going to help quite a bit to tell me whether I really need to water or not, and whether the pH is too low or too high, so I can add the things it needs, such as lime or calcium or whatever, to or sulfur, to raise and lower the pH to get it where the plant needs it to be. So it's going to make a difference. And I'm going to tell y'all, the early peas 3x6 bed over on the other side, on that other corner, the other side of the trellis, I am really considering pulling those plants and just having that bed empty as well, so that when these seed trays are ready, I will have that bed. I will have the carrot bed that I've got to refill with soil, the onion bed that's full, and all the space from the potatoes in half of this bed. I will have space to plant everything in those grow bags and back into the raised beds. So that should work out pretty good. And the early peas, yes, they did really good, but you need 2 or 3 dozen plants to get a good harvest that's going to feed several people. You just can't pick enough of those things to really be a meal for 3 or 4 people without, you know, without eating the hull and all, which is possible on those. The hulls are edible. But so anyway, I've got these new seed trays done. I'm gonna aim y'all back a little bit. You got too much sky. maybe that's a little better. It looks dark to me on camera, but I think we're ready. And I'll tell y'all something I did. I just took Reed home a little while ago. His mama wanted him home by dinner time, so we took him home. Like I said earlier, Reed was not feeling well today. He woke up not feeling good, and he's not a pill swallower, just like his mama's not. So I crushed the Tylenol and put it in with some orange juice and gave it to him, and that he told me it helped him feel better. So I did that twice today, and then he's gonna go home, and you know, Mama will give him meds too to hopefully keep him from getting too bad. But Mama's been sick for a week or more. Daddy got COVID a couple of days ago, and now he's sick as a dog. And little brother, so far, is fine. But you know it's going to go through the whole house. So I didn't even go into the house when I took him home. I hugged him and loved on him outside. And, you know, I'll make it up to Grace in another trip. But I'm not going in there with all that sickness going through the house. I don't need it. So I might get it, but I'm not going to do it on volunteer mode. But the chickens are doing really well. I'm going to flip y'all around for a second. So this pen here where the baby chicks are. These chicks are about a month and a week, 5-6 weeks old, something like that. Let me zoom in. All right. So y'all know I've put hay in all the nesting boxes. The bad thing about the hay is you stuff the front of the box where the eggs would normally roll away. You stuff them full of hay so the eggs won't roll in there. And the problem is mice will get up in there and start building a nest where the chickens can't get to them and where we never really look. But I tend to look. And I picked up the, let me get my finger. I picked up the cover on both those two nesting boxes, and there was several adult mice, you know, 2 inches long or whatever, with some tiny babies in there, about 7 or 8 babies, and then a couple of others in the next box with a couple of babies. Y'all, the adults got away from me, but I killed all those mice and threw them down there, and the chickens are going to eat every one of them. That's what they're in there doing, is eating those mice that I threw down on the, or killed and knocked down on the ground for them. So the adult hen will definitely eat some of them. But you have a mice problem, and it's time for me to clean these pens out. I'm going to dig down back to the red hard clay and get rid of all their trails where they burrow under the top layer of dirt and all that. And all that will go into my compost pile, but that's the first time I've come across nests like that. And that hay's only been in there for 4 or 5 days. It hadn't been in there very long. So matter of fact, I think Reed and I put it in there, and he was here 3.5 days. So it hadn't been in there very long. And I just, I don't want to be helping the mice breed and survive. So I check those things every time I go in there. But anywho, all right. Sorry that the video with Reed ending the video did not work out as planned, but that's okay. Him and I'll do it again, and we'll try to make it better next time. But guys, I know this is a little bit of a long video because I think the first part is about 16 or 17 minutes, and we're at 13 now. So I want to tell y'all, I really appreciate each and every one of you. What y'all do for me, watching the video, subscribing, thumbs up, and sending me comments and emails and all of that. It means the world to me. It's helping me grow my channel. And whether you've noticed or not, I'm trying to do more shorts. Now, I'm not going nuts doing 1 or 2 or 3 a day, but I'm trying to do more shorts. And y'all, the short that Reed and I did about the pump house yesterday, by the time we went to bed last night, it had 1,000 views. I'm not getting nowhere near that on my regular videos here. So that's helping me get my channel out there to more people that are watching those little short videos and then coming to the channel and subscribing. Now, I've only gained 1 since I did that, but on several other shorts, I gained 1 or 2. And we're back up to 795, which I've been before. And YouTube keeps knocking me down. But I thank each and every one of y'all for subscribing. I will try my best to make better content, like using this tripod so I can see and talk to y'all and y'all can see me. And as we learn more and more about how to grow more food in the raised bed garden and how to take care of the soil so that you have good plants with good production, you know, that's going to make the difference. And y'all saw where we put down all the new weed mat. It just looks fantastic. And I've got room now for 12 more 4x8 raised beds that will be outside of that greenhouse when I get it closed in. So I do appreciate y'all. I'm gonna show you one more quick thing before I shut up and get off of here. Look up by my panel box where my meter base is. The meter base, and then I've got space in it for 4 breakers up under it. Well, I added that little sub panel to the right today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed all my outbuildings and everything through that sub panel, and that sub panel is going to get power from my off-grid inside. So that way I can take the load off the outdoor base, and that's still going to be my backup. The grid power is still going to be my backup power. But that sub panel it's got 8 spaces in it. It's going to give me more room to spread the load out a little bit inside the panel and not have things so crowded and tight like I've got right now. So I worked on that for about an hour today. I know it probably 15 minutes for an experienced electrician, and I am in that field, but I'm selling the stuff, not using the stuff. So, but you know, I built this house, I wired this house, I know everything there is, and I'm working on changing. See the white pipes I use for burying my lines? That one up front right there, this 3/4, that's 400 feet long, runs out to the range. My plan is to remove all of that, pull the wire out, and replace it with the gray electrical pipe, so there won't be any confusion with that. A little bit at a time, y'all, a little bit at a time. So I'm going to move it to, I've already disconnected the power. It's not connected to anything. I don't need power out there in the classroom right now. So I'm going to move it to the sub panel. I'm going to move both my outbuildings over to the sub panel and just make things a little cleaner and neater. And I've had that box for years. So I'm trying to do it right. Trying to get it right and do it right. So it all works right. It's just crowded, and I don't like the crowded. So trying to clean it up and make it look a little bit nicer. And then when I finally do another video about my off-grid power, it will be much easier for y'all to see and follow along because it won't be so crowded. That's the idea anyway. So thank y'all for watching. Let me flip this thing around. I do appreciate each and every one of you. And if you want to learn a little bit about homesteading, a little bit about electrical, a little bit about raised bed gardening, a little bit about raising chickens, and I did have turkeys, and hopefully one day I'll have hogs or pigs, and you know, maybe even goats. If you want to learn all that stuff with me and grow along with us, I sure would appreciate you joining, subscribing, following us, and let's share knowledge back and forth. Thank y'all for watching. Remember what I've always told you, and no matter what anybody says, this is more important than all of it. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe, be prepared. Grow some food.